What's up, guys? It's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I thought it'd be a good time to go into our games for today, as well as going into obviously, all of tomorrow's games, as I have titled. Today, again, we had another good day. I'm going to go into that in a second. The only outstanding play we really have here is LSU. I have them going under, and as far as where the score is at, it's pacing towards the over. But the fact that we have a team up more than 5 scores might slow it down, so we'll see how that goes. But we did all right for the most part. I'm not sure how CSU is looking. They're one that's an active one. Let's see how they're doing, and then we'll go into the NFL games. All right, CSU's losing. Maybe they can make a drive and get it done. Those were mostly leg ones anyway. So I want to go into our metrics, and it's a great time to go into metrics because honestly, we have basically a psychopath situation unfolding. I want to just cover real quick. So, of course, in my Discord, I always go into metrics and things like that. As you can see, my obsessed stalker, Jake the asshole, if you don't know who that is, the guy is just completely unhinged, and he's so mad that I pointed out that he very blatantly copied my picks, stole my picks, used my picks, and then thanked me for my picks. And then just uses all of our ideas. So, like, he just comes watch our channel religiously every minute, probably more than you guys do. And then he'll post the exact same thing as we post. So, again, I show one thing, and it got him very, very mad. And to the point where, as you can see, he's just putting out our stuff, saying how he just stumbled upon it, like he just discovered fire. But the thing that made him very mad, and you guys might have seen this if you've seen my videos before, it's just a very simple, I was very humbled when he wrote this because I was like, wow, we have some. So this guy, supposed to be very original, has his own channel, been doing this a while. He's leading people, showing them the light. But luckily, I was able to guide him out of the darkness when it came to this whole thing because, as you can see, he tails all of my picks, thanks me for them, and had no idea how metrics worked until I came along. So, again, I don't like to really take too much time covering people like him. The other guy, Pat Truthner, the pedophile. This guy is just a complete tweaker off of his rocker, and this Jake dude. And it's crazy because I don't know why he would literally admit it, thank me, because I know why he would thank me because he religiously watched my channel, but gets so mad when we simply point out, hey, by the way, this guy completely copied us, and here's the evidence. Got him so mad. The dude made an extra channel, I guess hoping I would watch it, hoping a bunch of people would watch it and say, haha, John sucks. Like, the guy is he's a failed comic who I think is trying to relive his bar days of performing in front of 9 people, not 8 of them being his friends, if he has 8 friends. And now he's just, making channels. He did it with some other guy where they would just, I guess, both go back and forth, and it was stupid. So I don't know if the guy thinks he's going to get a rise out of me. I don't know if he's hoping I have time to make a freaking channel dedicated to this twerp. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the dude blatantly steals from us. And then every time I point it out, which is not that often, I mean, we've made hundreds and hundreds of videos. I think on 3 occasions I pointed out how the guy is just a complete bottom-feeding copy and paster, and he got so mad. So hopefully he can spend more of his energy making videos in honor of us. Again, another very humbling thing. This guy should be focused on his own channel, and again, he's making separate ones just so he can try and get I guess us to mention him. But yeah, I thought I would go into that because the metrics are very, very important. And the reason the metrics are important is they historically hold up more than anything else, okay? So, and it's something I brought up and been bringing it up since last year. It's not something that, I recently discovered. We had a really good last year because of it. Now, it's not always going to work. For example, LSU Army, the over-under is 59. Some of you might have got 59.5. I have that as a leg 3 for 4 units today. That's about the only one we have up in the air. Obviously, UCF came through, so that was leg 1. I literally just took them because Oklahoma had not covered, or I'm sorry, had not been covered on the spread. CSU I took for the outright win. It was a 6.5 point cover, and I figured, the value's there. Let's go for the win. I did that with a couple teams. Again, UNLV, they're undefeated, I believe, on the spread. Washington State, again, Oregon undefeated on the spread. So all the metric ones panned out pretty good. I had Ohio State, Penn State was undefeated on the spread. We got that one. Then we got a couple of not terrible beats. These are all leg ones again because we don't have open sequences. If you know how my channel works, every video prior, if you watch the prior video, you'll see all the sequences, every play we make, every unit amount is updated basically every day. That way, anyone that's new can just watch the last video and see, oh wow, yeah, he didn't just, that's another thing these other guys do. This guy just after the fact said he won. How convenient. I actually put it out there exactly how much, and it makes it easy for people to tail. It also makes it easy for people to copy us, but again, that's fine. I mean, you have to take the good with the bad. So all of these are leg ones except the LSU under, which I'm actually liking, unless LSU decides they just want to run up the score. Illinois, they got backdoor beat, so did, of course, it's still the same, I get that, but UConn and Illinois, they were winning like the whole way, lost it at the very end. So, and South Carolina really wasn't winning at all. So, right now we're around 3-3, maybe it's 3-3. I think with the LSU under, will be 1, 2, 3, probably something like 4-3, something of that effect. With of course, there would be a winning day too, because the LSU under is the biggest play. Now here are all my NFL plays, and again, these are all just from sequences we have not closed, so we still have a good bit open. As far as, we had like, it's going to be probably, like I said, 3-4 losses for today, and we're 105 sequences in now, which means that, I've started 105 different sequences. Obviously, 1 unit if that loses, 2 units if that loses, 4 units if that loses, the sequence is over. If you win it by then the sequence is still over. 105 sequences we're in right now, and again, we only have very few open. So most of these are going to be leg ones, and I'll be going into them. So, first one I got Browns Colts, and I just took the Browns to cover. Again, you just had this team beat the Niners. One interesting thing I noticed with the Niners is they were talking about how every team that played the Niners lost the following week. And then last week, the Cowboys, after losing to the Niners, did win. So the Browns just won, obviously, because they beat the Niners. They played the Niners. So I'm wondering if they keep that up. Also, if they're going to really push this defense as the best defense since the Purple People Eaters, I think they have to beat a backup quarterback. I don't see any way around that. It could be a close game where it's a win, no cover. I just went ahead and took the cover. I wanted to go into something an analyst said too. It wasn't this game. I think it was Bills Patriots, which is the next one I'm covering anyway. Yeah, why betting the under makes a lot of sense. This is what I'm talking about, and again, these other guys can copy me all they want, but they don't understand why I come to the metrics I do. So when I see stuff like this, it's intriguing because New England's terrible on the over this year. And Buffalo's not much better, believe it or not, on the over this year. And here they are telling us to bet the under. So I look at it, it's at 40 points. For a Patriots game, I feel like that's kind of high. So I feel like people would probably be on, listening to the analyst here, take the under. I like the over. Again, it's mostly the metrics, but then when I saw them actually say, oh yeah, you should bet the under, always makes me like the opposite. So I like the over on that one. Commanders, Giants, I actually like the Giants in this game. I like them. I just took them to win. And the reason I like the Giants to win is because it's pretty simple. Again, they're 1-5 on the spread. They covered their first spread last week. And again, this is a metric that you can stick with because it's all about knowing the percentages. So in the NFL, you'll have teams finish in the low 30s. You'll have teams finish in the high 60s, sometimes even in the 70s. But you're typically not going to see teams finish in the teens or in the 80% on an over-under on a spread. Last year, the absolute worst team was a playoff team, Bucks, 4-13-1, so they had to get pie in there. So even at coming off a win, a lot of times you'll see it come in spurts. We'll be going to basketball, and it's interesting because the Heat last year, awful all year on the spread, looked like they were going to defy history and finish like 30%. And then out of the last 30 games, they covered like 25 of them. Now they do count the playoffs when they count spreads, and it plays a big role because obviously they're an underdog in a lot of their playoff games. So just by winning, they were basically covering the spread. But they were even before the playoffs started, they had made a bunch of covers, and I don't think it's a coincidence. So yeah, I like the Giants, but I'm going to take them to win. I already went into the Lions. It's my favorite game of the week. I think they're going to win this game, just so they can say the Lions are the best team in football right now. If the Niners and Eagles split, and one of these teams loses, and they're both prime time, so it's definitely a possibility. Then I mean the Dolphins would move to 6-1, but they can say the Lions are definitely the best team in the NFC, in my opinion, if they win this game. It's another reason I like the Browns. If you think about it, when's the last time Lions and Browns were both leaders of their division? Now the Browns would have to win, the Ravens would have to lose, and they'd technically be the lead. They'd be winning the division slightly by a half a game. But even if for a minute soundbite, they would love to say the Browns and Lions are the leaders of their division and two of the top, the best teams in their respective conferences. I think it's too good of a narrative to pass up on. So I do like like I said, that's the reason I like the Browns cover. So Giants win. Again, Lions, I think they win outright. I'm going to take the Bears here to win outright. I think in these types of games, typically I went into this before. I went into how a lot of times you have two shitty teams. More people are probably just going to take the home team. With okay, I'll take the home team. Almost getting through. I can buy up half a point, getting 3 points, whatever the case may be. But then you also have to. I try and look at the long-term booking, and I don't think the Bears are going to have the first pick in the draft. I don't. I think it's going to be someone who gets Caleb, and I don't think they're getting Caleb. So I think they'll have a couple wins at home, get people behind Fields, and establish behind a few guys so they can rebuild. I don't think the Raiders. I had high prospects for them at the beginning of the year. But then I looked at a few different things, and looking at some of the other teams that they're pushing, obviously the Browns being one of them, the Bengals are making their comeback. It's very, very, now they might finish better than the Chargers, and they could still, I guess, fall ass backwards into like a 7 seed. But I don't think the Raiders are going to be running away with anything. I think they're going to be fighting to be around 500 all year long. And yeah, I think the Bears will finish with like 4 wins or something like that. So I think they'll get this game. Falcons, Bucks, I absolutely love the Falcons. I think, the public's not going to really be on the Falcons. There's no reason to be on them. If it's Ritter versus Mayfield, any day of the week, people are going to take Mayfield at home, by the way. So, yeah, I think this one, a lot of people will be on the Bucks. And I like the Falcons. I think Robinson, he didn't do too much last week. I think this week he'll break out and probably do some pretty crazy things. So, again, a lot of these are simply... Atlanta's not great against the spread. That's another reason I like them. So I took them to win, but used in the spread theory. Bears, another one, not great against the spread. Now Lions, they're an outlier. They're not. If they were perfect against the spread, I wouldn't like them as much as I do. But they're like 5-1. Baltimore. I think they're actually what their records are against the spread. I think the Ravens are 4-2 against the spread, and I think the Lions are 5-1. So there's nothing too crazy on that one. Not like the Giants, where the Commanders are 4-2 against the spread and the Giants are 1-5. Though when you have these kind of discrepancies, again, they usually wind up balancing out. So I know the spreads and metrics aren't the most fun thing to talk about, but there's a reason people are copying this idea. It's because it's been working for a while now, and again, I don't mind if people want to profit off it. That's fine. It's more when narcissist, failed comic, egomaniacs want to pretend it was their idea, and then actively antagonize this channel for just pointing out the truth. So, anyone that makes money off this, I'm happy. That's the reason I do my system the way I do. So here are all of our picks. I like to do them very concisely so people can see exactly what we got. I do have the Lions as a leg too. I think it's worth it because we're putting in 2 units to win plus 150, so if it's 25, 50, 100, those are the units I do. You're looking at 75. So you're looking at 125, and you're looking at about a net of 2.5 units off of a leg two. About 2.25 units net. That's including the loss on leg one where we had the Niners covering the Browns. So there's a reason for a lot of times for leg twos I will do plus odd games. I won't do crazy ones like plus 300, but like we hit Pitt covering on plus 250 last week. We hit the Jets covering. I think they were plus 275 or something like that. That was a leg two. And it does pay dividends because the way the system works, we have 3 legs, 3 levels, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's just a net 1 unit on each sequence, nothing more. So all the times we net more, it's just additional profits. But my goal is to net just 1 unit. So we put out 1, 2, and 4. Theoretically, that's 1 unit netted if you're betting even value, and that's the reason I do that. So obviously, if we can get plus odds, which on a few we're looking at, then it's even better. Now, again, so many of these are leg ones. Patriots Bills is a leg two because the experts said to go under, and because the Patriots have barely gone over this year, so I think they're going to go over. Broncos cover Packers. We went into this one my last video. Same with the Chiefs Chargers. I went into why I like both of these teams. I think they're firing Staley. I think it's that simple. And yeah, they're not looking great, so the public might be on the Chiefs because the Chargers aren't looking great. I get that. I just think, again, I think it's about firing Staley, so I think he's losing no matter what. With Taylor Swift, I think the Chiefs are going to look good no matter what. It's a matter of do they cover. Maybe they don't, but I have a feeling they're going to. And I really feel like they're going to fire Staley. Here's another one I went into my last video. Steelers covering the Rams. I like the 3 points here. Sometimes I try and pick which ones I do the money line, which ones I do the plus 2, plus 3. To me, this one's worth taking the 3 because I can definitely see this being a 19-17 game. Both teams have that kind of tendency, so I'll let that cover. And Seahawks. I think you got to have the Seahawks and Rams looking strong with the Niners looking so strong. So you give them a 2-touchdown score win. After the Rams beat the Cardinals by a couple touchdowns, then they look pretty good. And you can explain away maybe one of them beating the Niners when they shouldn't. And then we got Ravens-Lions. I added the over, again, because the experts on ESPN are telling me to take the under. And because Detroit hasn't gone over too much this year. Patriots cover. I think they're going... Okay, so this is an 8-point cover. I'll have to add this. But again, it's really... You're just matching it the best with ESPN that you can. I think they're going to keep it a close game. They were talking about Bills' 300th win. So happening against the Bills. Pretty interesting. So that's a possibility. That being said, the Bills have a streak against the Patriots. So I think it's 5 straight games. So that might continue. But I like the 8 points. If we're getting 8 points on this, I think it's definitely worth the play for the cover when they might keep it a close game. Because we don't have a lot of great games this week, to be honest. So maybe because NBA is coming up, they want NBA to look that much better because they're starting off their season. But we only have like 2 games, except the primetime games, that I think people are really interested in. So I like the Patriots getting the 8 points. Browns cover Colts. Again, a little fishy line, but it's all right. It's nothing crazy. And here are the rest of the ones I went into. Broncos win. This one's basically a 50-50. That's why I didn't do a plus on it. You're probably looking at like plus 115 because it's now at 1.5 points. But it's basically even odds. So for the Broncos to win. The reason I like the Broncos to win is because, again, only 1-5 against the spread. They just have not looked great, and I think they're going to get another win against the spread, which basically means they cover. Giants were getting plus 135. That's always nice. Falcons were getting plus 120. And Bears were getting plus 120. So I always like to be as concise as possible because get everybody on the same page. So all right. I like to do this in case someone's in the Discord doesn't have a chance to see a video. So obviously the New England covers for 8 points. So I think